It's like a five-alarm fire that the media, most people are ignoring, going about their lives like business as usual. We're getting close to 500 days of full-on genocide, full-on war crimes over in Palestine. This is the biggest story. It's the story that should headline everything and should be the first announcement all the time. But we kind of nowadays have to dig for the information. Thank goodness for the brave journalists in Gaza who are sending that information out over TikTok and live streams on Instagram and all sorts of things. Hope you're following those accounts because that's the best way to find out and keep up with what is happening every day. Totally undercounted days, undercounted deaths. You know, it's getting up to almost 500 days. And what about before October 7th? What about the genocide in 1948? So that's quite a bit more than 500 days. And of course, what about this undercounted death count of probably getting well over 500,000 people? You can't count the people who are buried under buildings. This is the largest humanitarian crisis and probably in our total world history, definitely in the modern history. While this is all happening, we are dealing over here in the United States with a massive shell game. They hide something under the shell. While these shells are being switched around, people are also thinking that what's happening is happening over there. No, it's happening over here. The genocide is happening over here because it's funded and fueled and in many ways largely orchestrated by the U.S. military and the White House. This is where this is coming from. And the fuel that they're using is the tax dollars and the energy, the work of the people here in the United States, the people here on this soil. They are using that energy that you put into work, your life, what you focus your attention on, everything. They're using that, and that is being stolen and being used for genocide. So over here in the U.S., which actually is us, U.S., this is where we can pull the plug on this. And of course BDS moves in that direction. BDS is really about pulling the plug on the White House. That's what it's about, because the White House is the source of this genocide. And so we over here in the United States have to do what we can do to radically alter, radically change our relationship to these institutions here in the United States, the media here in the United States, the White House, the government figures, our politicians. We have to radically alter our relationship to these people. And whatever radical alteration means to you, whether it means how you change, how you work, how you play, how you speak out, where you go. All this is what BDS is about. You know, how to deal with a situation, in a situation where even if you protest very loudly, you have a media that will ignore it. So we have to use whatever means we can, because what this really is about world peace. Yes, you are protesting against the state that is showing this brutality toward its neighbors, this unchecked violence. But what you're really protesting against more than anything is the violence itself, the unchecked violence, the unchecked state-sponsored and U.S. White House-sponsored violence and aggression. That's what the protests are about. We all have to speak for peace. This is what is most important right now. We cannot tolerate, no one can tolerate a constant ongoing environment of genocide. It's got to stop, but we've got to pull the plug on it. And we are the ones to pull the plug on it. In this age of Aquarius, whether you can do it tomorrow, the next day, the next year after, whatever, This is the main work, is to pull the plug on that beast genocide and make sure that we are not fueling that through our actions, through our lives, through our whatever it is we're doing here in this genocide that's going on in Palestine, and of course in going on other parts of the world too. Congo, for instance. All right, this is the work of this new age of Aquarius. One love.